Okay. So, hi, good afternoon. How it's going?
Yeah, everything is going on well as I expected from today. And today I'm very excited as well because today I'm going to connect with those people who knows British accent. It's a much remarkable
Actually, I'm honored for your appreciation, and actually, I'm too excited. I just went bananas to have a conversation with you, and I'm so excited now. So, we are meeting at the first time, and actually, I learned both accent, British accent, and American accent, but probably in my YouTube channel, sometimes I tag British accent, but as many as conversation I have with people, I interact with them as American accent. So many people mix up those accents, but it's okay when I'm just starting up. I also made this mistake mix up together, but I'm also fluent is two accents. So can you introduce yourself? Then I'll introduce myself.
Yeah. It would be really honor for me to introduce myself. Actually, I belong to India. Okay. And live at Bihar state. I'm a primary teacher and nowadays I'm helping to the learners. Okay. Who have been very poor in spoken English. So I'm providing my idea, strategy, and techniques matters so beginner can get utilize these kinds of strategy to improve their skill by sitting at home. Okay, so it's all about me. I would like to know about you as well.
Wow, just great. You're a teacher, right? And I'll call you sir because you're a teacher, and I'll be honored to be your student. So I think it's my
Mhm.
turn to introduce myself. So I'm Zabin Moshe. I come from Bangladesh. In class 6 in a Bengali medium school, as well as I'm a Bengali medium student. And if you tell about my hobby, I love to meditate, I love to draw, and anchoring in Bengali, reciting in Bengali. I love to do many extracurricular activities, and I also love to study in neuroscience field, and I'm interested in neuroscience, and currently my goal is to learn English confidently and fluently, and I have a YouTube channel which name is Mazabin Moshi. There I upload many English related videos. That's all about myself.
Wow, that's a wonderful. So I would like to know your journey. When have you started your spoken journey, and how do you become fluent? Could you describe something?
Actually, I'm grateful that you asked me that question. It's a very good question. Actually, I started my YouTube journey at class 4 or class 5, this types of thing. But started learning English in class 3, and it's passed about whole 3 years, but I'm pretty fluent English in 1 year, and 2 years I focus on, actually focus on pronunciation about 1 year, and I just listen and give output. But about 2 years, about class 4 and class 5, just give the output and correct my mistakes, learn new phrases. But I learn English pretty fluently in 1 year, and it's happened with me in 1 year. Upon I listen at the same time I speak English at the same time, I practice English at the same time, so it's not a big deal for me. So I don't have any target to learn English. As I tell you about my past videos, every video I tell, I don't have any target to learn English, but I somehow learn that in language, and I think it's a skill so to develop more and more every day. And English is a huge language, so you have to learn it. And as well as my mother tongue is Bengali. Many Bengali person oppose me. I don't know Bengali well, but I know pretty much, but I don't know some words. And actually, for native speakers in English field, they also do learn English. They don't learn English, they just simply speak in English. But many longest words, many phrases, many slangs are also undefined, and you can find it in dictionary. You have every day of my listening power that with me, that I listen and speak at the same time. And you know what the best part is? When I listen to a new vocabulary, I can set my in my mind easily and effortlessly. I could save it to my mind, and otherwise I'll use that phrase, slang, or new synonyms, antonyms, this types of thing.
Wow, that's a great. So, how did you learn this language? By the having of some kinds of help of any teachers, or you learn this language by yourself, by the help of your father?
Actually, I don't take any courses, any classes, or offline or online, but I just learned this language from YouTube. YouTube is my great teacher, and over there I found many native speakers that used to speak in English, and I just listen those. As I tell you, don't have to target of learn English, but my parents have a dream about my daughter could speak English so fluently, this types of things. So they play me some English things, and it's not a big deal for me. I don't thought about they're just talking, and I'm just playing about myself, doing all my stuff. But suddenly, my parents and me recognize I'm learning English in two accents, and I found different between these accents, and all about this I learned by myself, and my parents' support is needed. Without my parents' support, I couldn't speak. I think so, but I give effort to learn English, but I feel like I don't give any effort. I just listen and speak at the same time.
Wow, that's a really
So I have a question for you that you speak English so fluently as you were a teacher. So could you please tell me how do you convince your student to learn any language or any skills that you currently teach English or you teach another subject, and how do you convince them? How do you interest them into that particular subject? Could you please tell me as a teacher?
yeah. Of course, I would like to describe. Actually, I'm teaching, very youngest student, I think, nursery class to 5 standard only. So you can consider that kinds of kids does not have the well sensibility by having the meaning of mind, right? And if I would start teaching as a language, to all of students, so they are unable to learn out, right? Still, they have a requirement to understanding first the basic knowledge of grammar, right? And they have to complete their study of class. After that, they could learn language, right? So still, I am not teaching, as a language to any my students in my class. Okay, except taking subject of all their syllabus. Okay, so
Why?
you can consider like still I am teaching so many younger I am learner through my channels as a language.
Wow, which is great. But I think you learn English, and actually, when a kid learn English, they just listen and have to use the kid method to learn English with your students, but they don't have to focus any grammar. And from my childhood, from my English journey, I don't know any grammar rules, I don't know anything. And here I'm in class 6. Now I'm learning tenses, grammar, all the things. But before that, I don't know any language. But if you know, like English, skilled at English. Many people tell me why ad is coming here. I don't know. It sound me crazy. I don't know this because, it may sound a little types of things. I don't think so that will be. This is all my cause that I don't think so it will be. It sound crazy a little bit. So people found it, how do you learn this language and you don't know what the cause of ad is coming? and I learn it somehow. I speak and I listen, and I think it's pretty incomplete sentence if I give skilled in English or on English, and I think it will be perfect if we add. I'm still. I'm skilled at English, or I'm skilled at English, or they're skilled at English. That's all.
Okay, that's a great. So I'm very curious to know, like in your place where you stay, so do you use your native language or English language to communicate with all of them in your class, at your home, with your mother, father? I would like to know what language do you prefer to communicate with all of them?
Prefer, in my area, they're speaking in Bengali in their accent, but usually when I practice English, like I'll have a conversation, I'll practice English a little bit. That time I use English, but my daily life is controlled by Bengali, all the things in Bengali. But when I just a single person, when I'm playing, or when I'm practicing English, when I'll have a conversation, that time I only use English. And
Okay,
that's pretty funny because I communicate with other people in nationally in my Bangladesh, and we use Bengali for communicating with other people, but sometimes I use English, but it's very very rare and very unique when I speak English. But when I'm just starting up, I also used to talk with all the things in English, and now I recognize that after practice a lot when I was just a startup.
okay, that's a very lovely, interesting.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
mm-hmm.
Okay, you can tell whatever you do.
Okay, so I would like to know, do you have any friend with whom you can interact this way, or you would interact through your native language with your friend as well at your class?
Actually, I don't use English, and they don't like to have a conversation with me in English. And in my class, when I want to speak English with them, they just avoid this and go anywhere. And they say, learn Bengali properly, then learn English, this type of stuff. And they avoid to speak English. So what I'm gonna do, I just practice myself in the mirror, and I just have a conversation with you, and all in Skype. Skype application is so great. But in my school, I don't have much friends in my friend circle. They avoid to speak with me in English. I just love to speak with them in English, but they speak a little bit, then they say, okay, I should go now here, I should go now there. Like they're
Mm,
avoiding.
okay, that's a great. Okay,
So,
so mhm. Yeah, you do.
okay,
You can ask me any question I think you want to ask. You can.
Okay, so you teach English. You also learn English at the same time. You also manage all the things, and as you know, that there are also many people that how do you manage your time? Many people has a unique way to manage their time as well as me. I use to-do lists, and I don't use timetable like 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. I don't use that, and I just use to-do list. Sometimes I don't use to-do list either. But how do you manage your time, like teaching students, learning English at the same time, maybe life is made with the day? How could you manage your time?
Okay. Actually, it's quite easy for me to manage my times schedules. You can consider like my school time 9 to 2 p.m. Okay, and after crossing the 2 p.m., I have gotten I think 2 hour to attend session with the peoples as a video call, and at the 5 p.m. I go to teach my student. Okay, in a home tuitions you can consider. And after crossing 7 p.m., I come back to my house, and then I remaining work like editing parts of these kinds of content and posting for my channel. So these are things I have to done at that time. So this is my day schedule. You can consider. I easily manage all these things.
Wow, it's so supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and you learn all this thing at the same time. But you know, in my timetable or to-do list, whatever you say, even I get a free time, I have to use that free time. Without a free time, I'm not mine. My life just messed. But I can sleep at that. I don't sleep in afternoon or this type of thing. I just play or do any work, but I have to sit for a moment and have a free time. In my exam days too, before my exam days, I must have 5 to 10 minutes free time. Without that, I'm not alive. So this is my to-do list. So actually, I'm talking about public speaking, and English language is also a part of public speaking. Like when you're talking to someone right now, we are we have having conversation with each other. But when you speaking into a public library or public things, types of things, and you have to speak in front of millions and millions and thousands and hundreds of people, actually minimum, or 5 people, and you know we will be nervous at that time, but I'm not nervous as a kid. You know, when I talk something, I just confidently talk. You know, whatever I have to tell and whatever I have to do. So, what do you think about your public speaking? Do you prefer speaking in front of millions, or do you prefer in one thing, or good in one place, like having a conversation, or you have to go in many stage and interact with millions and millions of people? What do you prefer?
Okay, if I talk about myself, so I would like to talking around a million of people because it would be more challenging for me to know to by having the attention of the people towards my right, especially their conversation time, giving my perceptions, performance around the peoples. According to me, by facing challengeable moment of your life, so it will give you okay confidence, and these kinds of confidence have a requirement to boosting your career, okay, your life growth. So that's why early you are going to have actual of this kinds of situation in your life, so it will be more beneficial for you to longer in your life. So that's why I would like to prefer myself to facing the challenges, all the people's intention, and I would like to describing myself in better manner around a million of people to impress all of them through my struggles, through my story of life. Okay.
Wow, it's just so great that you share your opinion, and me too, same as yours. I love to speak in a millions of people because I love interacting with others, but I'm also, with a stranger, I'm not used to talk with them in a playground or thing. I don't used to talk with them, but when I'll give a speech, I'll sip my tide, and actually I'll give it a long speech, but I don't think many people will be bored at that time. So I could give a long speech, and actually, public speaking started from, I heard many English podcasts, I learned many English speeches, motivational speeches, public speaking, blah. Then I recognize some words that used in public speaking to interact with other people, to have a question, to have all the things. So it will also improve your skills in internationally or nationally. So I'm working on that currently. So do you love to read books? I'm currently a book lover. Not currently. I'll be, whole my life I'll be book lover, I hope, because I love to read many types of books, self-help books, motivational books, and many things. But do you prefer reading books or doing something at the same time? Or you're not actually a book lover? What type of thing?
Actually, according to if I talk about to describe my interest, so I'm very passionate to read out, story of any person's. Okay, I'm a very passionate person to read any books, any novels. If I'm going to read any story, so during reading any kinds of a story, I'm going to collect various, several kinds of vocabulary, and as well as their concept, their perceptions of life, whatever they earn through their life situations, all these things has been put on over this, story. So you are going to learn all these things. It will be more beneficial for you to maintain the balance of your life in a difficult situations. Right. So I would like to read storybooks. Yeah.
Wow, just great. Same as me. I love to read storybooks, same as self-help books, but I'm pretty interested in science fiction books, up to learn low science and plus fiction books. It like fiction books and I like fiction books, but it's pretty with science and I go to the world and it's just imaginable with creativity. That's all about. But I really love reading book anyway. Do you have any question for me?
Yeah, yeah, of course. So I'm very surprised, like how did you motivate yourself? Because you are small kids, right? You are having so many distractions from your place, from particular places, right? How did you motivate yourself?
Actually, motivation is came from your mind, not from others. Even if you're from parents, it's just like, God is giving to the parents. They're not just keeping. And actually, motivation came through our mind. Actually, I say I don't have target. And I also face some problem that you're not true, you're just saying, but I motivate myself to learn English. And I think that tell wrong confidently. Whatever people will say, I have to just ignore it. And if it's mistake, thank you to the person, then correct that mistake. Even it's correct, then ignore that person and just right to that path and it's just a normal attitude I have to follow. But many people say they hurt me, they do to me this, and they say me this, types of things. But it's depending on your mindset. How do you take that comment, that thing that you're giving to you? If you take that goodly, it will give you good output that is okay. I should ignore that person. But if you react to badly, it may sound crazy and your brainwave just low on that person as well. I say that I follow neuroscience and I'm interested in neuroscience. In neuroscience, when brainwave is high or confidence is high, but brainwave is low or confidence is low. So it's depending on your mindset on this thing that how could you take a comment on yourself? That's all about.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. It's totally up to us how we are taking the comment of other in our life and reacting by having these kinds of criticism commented by other. Yeah, you are right. If we are fix the mindset of us, no matter what kinds of comment we are having through the peoples, but we will never react, right? Overreact. I will never show my overreaction over the comment. I will be maintain my peace and my all these things. That would be really help me, okay, to keep calm and living my life peacefully without having the intense interruption of any other peoples in my life. That's a great. You're very
Yeah.
little, but you're so much mature. I really appreciate you. How old are you?
Thanks a million. I'm just 12 years old.
Oh, that's a great. Okay, so I would like to know your long-term goals of life.
Long term goals, many people have many goals, and actually, I have a goal, but after achieving my goal, I'll tell you because goal is fulfilled by the person. If the person achieved that goal, then the goal is fulfilled and now it's ready to tap. But if you already talk to other person, it's not gonna happen because sometimes you're overconfident or these types of things. So many people have a goal in their mind. So I have a goal too, a big goal, a long-term goal. So after achieving my goal, I'll tell it to you. Be honestly, yeah.
Okay. So at least you can share your nowadays, of course, like what kinds of goal have you indulged in your life to making come
Learning
true?
English fluently and confidently, as I say you, and reading many types of novel person books, and that's all about.
Oh, that's a great. So recently, what kinds of novels have you been reading nowadays?
Actually, I just finished reading, a science fiction books in Bengali. And over a few days, I'm just reading APJ Abul Kalam Azad's, My Life. I'm reading nowadays in Bengali translated. I'm reading that. But over not few years, past years, I just finished in December. Who Moved My Cheese and My Alchemist. The Alchemist is translated by Bengali, but Who Moved My Cheese is English. And currently I'm reading My Life and APG Abul Kalam Azad's book, writer. And My Life is so firing, so good, so motivating. And he wake up early, so early. But I'm just trying nowadays, but I cannot quite, feel sleepy, but I'm just trying to move it to wake up in very early, praying and do things, all the stuff, and be a firing person like him.
Oh, that's a great. And I would like to know your strategy to recall vocabulary which you learn through any sources. How do you learn vocabulary and how do you fix that vocabulary in your conversations?
Again, it's came to listening power. Actually, I have a lot of listening power in my mind. I don't know how, but when I listen to a speech, I find out, not actually find out, I find out, my brain found out this. Actually, like some few days ago, I found etiquette and this types of thing. I don't know this words, but a speech on YouTube. I just followed that and I found etiquette. Etiquette actually means a zone that I search on Google what means etiquette. Then the Google had the results that etiquette means to stay, in a balanced level. So I use this sentence to my daily life that I have to sleep etiquette or I have to study etiquette, not studying too much, not studying too less. I have to study adequately or these types of things or these types of words I learn, but sometimes without translating, my brain is a good translator, I think. Sometimes I guess that word and sometimes in translation that give that. So I learn English, I don't know why. I could keep my mind and remember that word again and again because I love English. I don't study English regularly, but I just love English. That's why my brain catch up those words and in my output when I'm having a conversation, they gave no, my brain gives many phrases, slangs, vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, and more and more.
Wow, that's really amazing. Fantabulous, really. The way you speak, I think the beginner take, I think 5 to 6 years of their life to having the mastery in this language, to convey, just like you, each and every statement situationally. So, how do you know the way you speak? It's a totally stranger, to all the learner. Because after crossing 5 to 6 years of their learning process, they get to know how to convey this way, any statement. So, how do you learn this way to speak? I'm very surprised. Yeah.
Actually, it's again come to listening power. Actually, from not my childhood in class three, I used to listen many English songs, motivational speeches, as I mentioned, and this my listening power buildup that I couldn't talk in Bengali accent, Bengali normal English accent that I couldn't talk, but normally I could speak American and British accent. My
Hmm.
brain doesn't catch it up, so that's all. My brain just
Okay,
catches up, and I don't know why.
okay. So how much time have you talked? I mean, how many times have you consumed in this platform?
I don't know. I don't count about 10, 11 times.
Okay. Like if, often you come to on this time to communicating with the peoples. These
I
times
don't
only.
often I don't often come this types of afternoon because I have to do many things, editing my videos and all this stuff. Sometimes in my exam day, I have to study a lot. So I don't came often into that Skype. My mother checked my Skype, but she tells me that how to write that SMS. And sometimes I check that person is knocking. Some person is time to have a conversation with me, but I don't often check that because I have